The soil is a vital part of the natural environment which supports the growth of plants. It is also a habitat for many different organisms, and it is the heart of nearly all agricultural production. It also plays an integral role in countless other ecosystem services like water and climate regulation. This important element plays a critical role in the production of food for a growing global population. It is no doubt very pertinent that there must be studies and constant researches to enable man manage this very important resource which is so vital to the existence of mankind. With the ever-increasing global population rising to about 9 billion, there is definitely a dire need for an over 70% increase in food production to meet the demand. The philosophy of food science is for sustainable agricultural production, environmental quality control, and environmental sustainability. Considering its importance, several countries across the globe have specially trained soil scientists who carry out intently the practice of research and management of the soil, and have also created distinctive bureaus, agencies or departments to oversee the regulation of standards and management of the soil. And Nigeria is not left out. The Nigerian Institute of Soil Science was established by the Nigeria Institute of Soil Science Establishment Act 2017. It is charged with the mandate of formulating and regulating the standards of academic qualifications and practical skills to be attained by persons seeking to become registered as members of the institute. It is also to regulate the practice of the profession of soil science in Nigeria. The Nigerian Institute of Soil Science (NISS) has offices in all geopolitical zones of the country, as well as a governing council and a registrar. Trenched Okon Ibia, a professor of soil science and fertility in the University of Uyo, Nigeria, is the zonal coordinator of the South-South Zone of the Nigerian Institute of Soil Science.
6 South-South states, Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Rivers, Bayelsa, Delta, Edo states. And most of the activities of NISS are centered in research institutes, universities, farmers organizations, farmers groups, farmers, stakeholders, fertilizer manufacturers and fertilizer users, the ministries of agriculture, the agricultural development programs, and whosoever else is involved in agricultural production, including cognate activities like environmental issues, erosion problems, soil erosion, soil degradation, soil contamination, and several other things. So NISS in the zone is interested in looking at laboratories that analyze soils and fertilizers, companies that do fertilizer blending or manufacturing, and of course the end users of these products. So whosoever analyzes, whosoever needs soil services is a target stakeholder in NISS in the South-South.
The institute is concerned with the attainment of adequate educational qualifications by members as a prerequisite for human capacity development of soil scientists. It is equally concerned with economic transformation as it affects agricultural development as a source of revenue for the country, considering the current realities and challenges facing the nation. It also provides practical and theoretical training in soil science management in Nigeria, as well as produce highly skilled graduates who have acquired the knowledge needed to meet the agricultural development and environmental needs of Nigerians.
This came into existence by law in 2017, and between that time and today, I want to say a lot has been achieved. We have advocacy, trying to tell farmers and all stakeholders about the importance of soil, importance of managing it sustainably, importance of using it, in a manner that you can get optimum yield, and of course, importance of using the soil, managing soil for other uses like physical development and so on. So we have been involved in training of farmers at the trainer level. We had one in November 2021, where we had a training workshop for dissemination of technologies for the management of problematic soils. Again, we had that training in 3 locations at the same time, here in Bio, in Port Harcourt, and in Benin. Port Harcourt was for Rivers and Bayelsa, Benin was for Edo and Delta, Kwaibu was for Edo, was for Kwaibu and Cross River. It essentially involved extension officers and farmers, where they gathered and they were told on the technologies to use in managing problematic soils. In this area, problematic soils are mainly soils that are acidic, and mainly soils that are acidic. So we had that workshop. In February this year, we had another workshop, training workshop for still farmers and extension officers for climate smart agriculture. Climate smart agriculture is that we are all aware of climate change. We are trying to tell farmers how to adjust to climate change and climate issues. Again, it was done in 3 places, in Port Harcourt, in Benin, and here for extension officers and farmers. The extension officers are selected by the agri-development programs.
Beyond training, the Institute in the South-South Zone also interfaces with relevant agencies like the FADAMA and the IFAD projects, as well as the ministries of agriculture in the various states in the South-South Zone, to ensure that it reaches out to the target groups, which primarily includes farmers who will not only be trained but will also be equipped with knowledge about soil science management. In keeping up to speed with the global trends and development in soil management, the Nigerian Institute of Soil Science also participates in global events such as the World Soil Day, where it organizes events such as lectures and seminars to update the knowledge of soil scientists and other stakeholders, with a view to further broadening their horizons in the management of the soil.
We have been involved in World Soil Day celebration. World Soil Day is an annual celebration across the whole world. So NISS is active in it. Here in the South-South, we took part. In fact, I gave a lecture in 2019, and 2020 we had some COVID challenge. 2021, 2022, we're hoping to have it this year. Farmers have been coming around asking us questions regarding soil issues, so we try to encourage them. Equally, in the South-South, we have, I think we are up to 50 registered soil scientists. So we are trying to regulate the soil for end users.
The efforts of the Institute in the South-South Zone since its inception have paid off tremendously, as farmers and extension workers have practically utilized the knowledge gained from the Institute's programs to improve their lot as they are now better equipped to manage the soil for better agricultural yields. For instance, the global factors which include climate change, which had been militating against the output of farmers, were effectively managed through advocacies, lectures and workshops organized by the Institute for Farmers.
So with those field experiences, the training we had on climate smart agriculture in February, and even the training we had on dissemination of technologies, those participating farmers came and actually raised issues, which means that they are actually adjusting or following what NISS is doing. They raise issues like, how do we get soil analyzed with all the encouragement we are giving them by way of training them? But if they have a challenge in Ogun or Goja, how do they get soil analyzed? That leads us to the issue of the training that is coming up on the use of soil test kits. Soil test kits, we have received 150 of them, and we want to get farmers trained, extension officers trained, and farmers so that they can go back and train the trainers. So with that, like I said, the farmers actually raised the issue of soil analysis and how they can be helped, and NISS has responded by sending 150 units of soil test kits to each of the zonal offices. They will be distributed to farmers after training. So I want to believe that with this, we will get impacts not too long from now.
There are about 50 registered soil scientists in the South-South zone. These certified professionals, alongside other practitioners and stakeholders, participate in various research programs at the instance of the Institute and have added immense value in improving the yield of farmers in various ways. Some of the areas of focus in the research are on the formulation of organic fertilizer for various crops such as cassava, rice, maize and other vegetables in various locations in Akwa Ibom, Cross River and across other states across the South-South zone.
Part of the mandate of NISS is to ensure that fertilizers that are produced meet the standard. So when there is a national fertilizer policy, you call it, that NISS is part of. There is a national soil agricultural land soil management policy that is coming up. Those are the laws, the document that will enable us get into a fertilizer company and do our work. For now, we are only trying to tell the fertilizer manufacturers that we are here, and from time to time we shall relate with you. So get to know us. So whatsoever activities that NISS does at the national level, it invites them. So they come, like OCP fertilizer, OCP Nigeria that is coming to put a fertilizer plant in Akwa Ibom. They have sponsored the demonstration, the trials, which I mentioned earlier on. In fact, they are the sponsors of that particular trial in Cross River and in Akwa Ibom. They hope to expand that field trials to other parts of the zone across Nigeria. So they started with 2 states in the first instance, they hope to expand it. So with that kind of relationship, it is possible for NISS to monitor their fertilizer and say, yes, for zone A in South-South, this is the kind of fertilizer that is good for this area. In zone B or C, depending on the agroecological zone, they can say this is the kind of fertilizer that we need to take it there. Not the talk of Sahel North, or Guinea savanna, or Sudan savanna, or the whole rainforest. So NISS has that mandate to regulate the fertilizer manufacturers. They have mandate to regulate soil science laboratories. So laboratories that analyze soils and fertilizer. They have that mandate to regulate them, to accredit them and regulate them. So from time to time, we shall move around, look at in Daroma. What is that company? Indorama. They have a laboratory. Once in a while, we will go in there, look at their methodologies, look at their quality control measures, look at their equipment, look at their standardization, and look at. Then, of course, they have to bring fertilizers to the local level of doing experimentation to see quality and purity, and of course the efficiency of the fertilizers. So we do that, but like I said, NISS is very young, and we're trying to put functional documents in place to be able to use them.
The South-South Zonal Office of the Nigerian Institute of Soil Science, which is situated on the main campus of the University of Uyo, Nigeria, is funded and equipped by Tech Fund. A 1,000-seater lecture hall, office equipment, and several other laboratory equipment are among some of the donations to the South-South Zone of the Institute by Tech Fund.
Tech Fund funded lecture theatre, and the university graciously gave us this to host NISS, the zonal office of NISS in the South-South. So this is the zonal office, big office.
Beyond agricultural development, the Institute also addresses environmental concerns and puts out advocacies and possible solutions to those challenges, particularly those bordering on the Earth's surface. Soil erosion and soil contamination are some of these challenges amongst others. The Institute would in the not too distant future be able to play regulatory and enforcement roles in respect to soil management.
Well, land degradation, there are various issues on it: erosion, degradation, soil fertility degradation, even soil loss. A lot of soil is being lost, and of course, indiscriminate use of fertile land for physical development. So NISS, like I said, in 2019, I gave a lecture on soil erosion and the Akwa experience, and that lecture was very well attended, and we had a new map, Nigerian erosion management and new map. Nigerian Erosion Management Program or Project. So one of the things we said was that there should be interest in the way we do construction. Construction should be done in such a way that you damage less of the land and the soil. You build a road, raise it up, you cause storm water to enter farms. You build a gutter, hang the drain, it accelerates erosion. There are a lot of damages. So we thought, so as a zone that has its own peculiar soil degradation problem, besides erosion, we have contamination, we have pollution by all activities. We are talking. Part of what NISS is doing at the national level is developing a Nigerian soil agricultural land management policy. It has gone very far in in its development. When that document becomes legal, we shall be empowered to now check a lot of the things we're not able to check now. But there are a lot of things that are being done. The moment that is done, they will give powers to the zones to move around and be able to monitor and check mismanagement of the soil by whosoever, including where you put waste and dump waste, because waste dumps pollute the soil by leachates, by all kinds of contaminants. The source is there, but you can have it far away from the source. So when that document is concluded, which we hope will be concluded very soon, we shall be empowered to work at the national level, at the state level.
Still on the development of agriculture in the South-South zone, the Institute, in concert with various stakeholders, is working to develop templates for soils matching or most suitable for particular crops. With this, crops like cucumber and tomatoes, which ordinarily may not do well in the South-South region owing to its peculiar environment and soil type, can now be cultivated, with these crops producing good yields. This is made possible by research on soil type and the formulating of specific fertilizer types most suitable for the given crops. The innovation would indeed boost food production and increase food sufficiency in the South-South region and in the country as a whole.
Hitherto, we have said this cannot happen because of climate issue, like some crops that require to flower during the cold season. There are some crops that require to flower during the hot season. There are some crops that require to flower during long nights. Those things were there. But NISS will liaise with breeders to breed crops that are adaptable to the environment in which we are. NISS will be interested in the crops that are adaptable to the current situation. Like cassava, very many varieties of cassava have been developed, and NISS duty will be use this one in this location, in that location. Cucumber, you have open field planting, you have greenhouse planting. These are all technologies that you can bring. And of course, it won't just be you bring the greenhouse, you don't bring any solar food there. Soil scientists, crop scientists, and scientists that are involved in production will be part of making sure that whatsoever we bring here is adaptable and of course is within the reach of the resource poor farmers. Because they're not going to eliminate them. You're not going to eliminate them. You are going to find a way of getting them to adjust to what you are doing. So as we bring the very big and expensive technology, we must continue to develop the cheaper technology and the easily adaptable technology, particularly those ones that the farmers themselves have some advantage, some knowledge. It's just to tell them, instead of doing this way, do this way. Instead of planting 3, plant 1. Instead of planting this at the distance of this that you have been doing, plant it this way. Instead of continuous planting of cassava, you can change the crops. You know, those are the things we do. So NISS will continue to do that. But NISS is essentially a regulator.
At national level, the Nigerian Institute of Soil Science is working on a framework for a Nigerian soil agricultural land management policy. This is why the Institute has found it important for farmers to get well informed about soil science and engage soil scientists in their activities. The Nigerian Institute of Soil Science is an integral part of agricultural development in the country, as it is a regulator of soil science practitioners, and it also brings these professionals together for researches, peer review mechanisms, and workshops. This is why the Institute is ensuring that In regulating the practice of soil scientists in the country, they must be evaluated, registered, and certified to practice as such. The institute avers that the major mistake made by a majority of farmers is their inability to test the soil before they plant on it. The institute also takes note that most farmers run into losses because they fail to test the soil of the location of their farms, and therefore advises that for Nigeria to ensure food sufficiency and food security, farmers must test the soil before they plant on it. The Nigerian Institute of Soil Sciences stands as a bridge to fill the gap between the farmers and the numerous challenges they face in the management of the soil. The Nigerian Institute of Soil Science would also move to regulate the activities of soil scientists, not only for the development of agriculture but also for the sustenance of the environment. Professor Victor Okechukwu-Chude is the Registrar and Chief Executive of the Nigerian Institute of Soil Science. He explains the core mandate and functions of the institute.
Of Soil Science, a short called NISS, was established by the Nigerian Institute of Soil Science Establishment Act of 2017. It is an agency of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, and the parent body is the Soil Science Society of Nigeria. NISS is charged with the mandate of formulating and regulating the standard of academic qualification and practical skills to be attained by persons seeking to become registered members of the institute. It is also to regulate the practice of the profession of soil science in the country. Through that way, quacks are removed. Our functions include establishment, updating, and maintenance of a register of soil science practitioners as contained in the Act, according to their various ranks, and to regulate the prerogatives and privileges pertaining to these ranks. Ensure that soil science practitioners in Nigeria uphold the ethics of the profession and guarantee the sustainability of high quality soils.
With a very proper regulation of soil science practitioners in Nigeria, it can be said that the role of the soil scientist is very key, and it is therefore pertinent to note that the importance of soil scientists in the development of agriculture and to the socio-economy of Nigeria cannot be overemphasized. The Nigerian Institute of Soil Science is adding value to the nation's economic growth through agricultural development. For details and further inquiries about the activities of the Nigerian Institute of Soil Science in the South-South, contact the following website, emails, and phone numbers.